Hi everyone, Dave here. I hope you're having a good day so far. If there was one commodity that the world was currently short on, what do you think it is? For me, if I had to choose just one thing, I would say the word authenticity. There is not enough authenticity. And authenticity and the quest to find real authenticity is the real force behind my Facebook page, The Imperfect Individual, because obviously authenticity is individuality, and the cultivation of the concept of the individual thought, etc., is what makes a healthy society. And obviously I argue that that's not what we've got at this moment in time. In fact, far from it. We have a polarised world, and one where the masses have had fear instilled into them and are not thinking very critically or with much perspective and balance. So what I wanted to do, this was to try to describe what are the pitfalls of being authentic. What are the risks you take in being really your authentic and true self? Right. Okay. So I'd say the first one is you risk being a hypocrite. Now, because to be human is to be hypocritical. Again, this ties in with the imperfect individual. None of us are perfect, and that means that we will be hypocritical on occasions, maybe quite regularly, and that's okay. It's important to develop values around which we can, base our lives around. And I'm in the process of doing that myself. And there are a lot of the values that I've identified that I'm in no way close to living in accordance with. I've got so much work to do. So in that way, I am hypocritical. But it's all about recognising that in aspiring to be better people, it's a long journey. And aspiring to live, in close alignment with those values. There are going to be times when we don't do it, and we will be hypocritical. So, being a hypocrite is okay as long as it's, as long as you're not completely, incongruent with the values that you've set out. So yes, that's the first one. To be human is to be hypocritical. I think we need to remember that sometimes. Another one is you risk contradicting yourself as well, because the more you start to develop your own voice and your own view on the world and your own insights as well, well, it's easy to hide behind a group mantra, isn't it? Or a set of values for, say, an organisation that you work for, or maybe a set of values of a protest movement or whatever it may be. But to really drill down into what your own personal kind of like insights are and views are, and the way that you see the world and how you interact and communicate and espouse those views, etc., is hard work. It really is. That's not an easy thing to do, but it's a critically important thing to do. Now, for me, that'll mean that I'll sometimes contradict myself as well, which might which might render one of my, the points that I'm making or arguments to look a little bit redundant or silly even. And again, that's okay. These are the pitfalls of being authentic, remember. And these are the pitfalls that are absolutely fine, that we have to accept. So to be hypocritical and to contradict ourselves, because I know I do both of those things quite regularly. And then the third one I'd say is sometimes, you could make yourself out to look a bit silly, a bit stupid sometimes as well, because I've probably been wrong more often than right in my life. It doesn't stop me, pursuing the values that I have and the, having my own, kind of like moral compass to follow. But I'll happily admit I'll regularly be more wrong on than correct on a number of situations. So And when I say wrong, right and wrong, life usually isn't a case of what's right and what's wrong. It's more about what is everybody's own, their own moral compass, and do they live their life in accordance with it. I think, but that the risk of looking stupid is a risk you take when you're really pursuing an authentic stance an outlook on the world as well, and that's fine. And probably the biggest risk, the biggest pitfall of finding out who we are, who we really are, who are we as an individual, is there probably will be people, maybe people very close to you as well, who'll become suspicious, uncomfortable, maybe won't like you as well. And that's probably the biggest fear of all, for anybody because let's be honest, the journey to authenticity is an uncomfortable, challenging, confusing, lonely one as well. But as we do that and we become more confident, even when we're maybe not having a great day and we're still, getting our message out there, then it may result in individuals who maybe, are more comfortable in, adhering to group value structures, that they may start taking a different view on you. So that's a big risk. But I read a great quote the other day that said something like, there was no price too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. And as difficult and lonely as the journey is, I was called a lone voice in the wilderness recently, actually, which I quite liked. I took that as a compliment, because I'd much rather be a lone voice in the wilderness than, just another voice in a big pack, in a big mob. And we've got so much of that at the moment. We really, really have got so much groupthink at the moment. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a little bit introspective with this video, and say that in my quest to find my authenticity, I'm probably miles away still from living my life according to the values that I really do know that I want to. I'm getting there. I have massive flaws still in my character that I know that I need to work on, and much work to do with many aspects of who I am and my character as well. So yes, and that may include being too opinionated at times as well. So there's another one. So that's the video for today. The risks associated with being authentic. So for anyone who wants to really, really find out who their authentic self is, it's a challenging but rewarding task. And I would say there's some of the risks that you need to be prepared to take on in order to do it. So I hope that was a good video, and I'll speak to you all soon. Okay, bye-bye.